If you're not yet profitable as a day trader, the weekends can sometimes feel weird, especially for me as someone who's grinding super hard trying to make it. And I've ran into questions with myself of like, should I be backtesting more? Should I be journaling? Should I be stepping away from the charts? If you don't know what to do, that's exactly what this video is for. This is how I'm spending my weekends now, how I used to spend them, how I think it should look like in terms of your journey as a trader trying to become profitable, what you should be doing. So in the first stage, stage one of being an unprofitable day trader, I think the first thing you should be doing is grinding, like nose to the grindstone in terms of studying, learning, and developing your edge. This is the stage where you consume content, you learn strategy. It's all out there, it's all for free. There's courses, there's YouTube series, there's tons of stuff out there for you to go and learn the course. I'm using T-Trade's fractal model, that's my preference. You can learn whatever you want, but this is the stage where you're taking notes, you're developing your strategy, and you're doing this quickly. This shouldn't be a long process. You should take notes, a ton of notes, and then you hop into backtesting, where you do a ton of backtesting and collect a whole bunch of data to see if you have an edge. I have kind of ran this course myself. I've taken tons and tons of notes. I have notes all over online, all over my wall, and I've backtested like crazy. I've developed a spreadsheet with all of my back tests, and I've just spent a ton of time trying to backtest quality as much as I can. Each one of these that has like a hashtag and a number and it says BT, it stands for backtest. Like I've really spent a ton of time backtesting and just collecting as much data as I can, trying to find my edge. I've probably done 500-ish on here, and then on TradeZella, if I go to session results and get all of them, see how many. Okay, so 600. So 600 on TradeZella, so 1,000 plus trades all in backtesting. Like, this is the part where it's like, grind. Like, do I have an edge? Let me find an edge. Let me take my notes. Let me find my criteria, make my checklist, do all these things to find your method, find your successful procedure. And then it starts to dip into, okay, I have my method, I found what seems to be a profitable approach, now what? And this is where I think backtesting starts to become counterproductive. Backtesting is great for finding your edge and finding how you can make money in the markets, but at a certain point, it may start guiding you and leaning you towards developing poor habits when it comes to trading live in the markets. Habits such as just flipping through price quickly. Backtesting can be a very hasty process where you're just flipping candles, and you don't really have to exercise patience ever. You can just click the play button and get to the next day, and that can sometimes bleed into your live trading and not teach you patience or teach you to ignore being patient because you're used to taking 20 trades in an hour or 5 trades in an hour versus 5 trades in a week or 1 trade in a week. And it can be this kind of emotional trap where backtesting is starting to harm you more than it helps you. So at that point, I think it starts to turn into how to be a better trader in the live market. And so on your weekends, you kind of step back a little bit. You stop with the back testing. If you have an edge, you don't really need to back test anymore. It becomes perfecting your live trading performance. What I do on my weekends now, I go to the gym, I do content, I post on Twitter, and I do all these things here. And that's largely because I have this obsession in me and I want to be a successful trader so badly. But I know that if I keep drilling back testing, it may start to harm me more than it helps me. So I've taken a lot of those efforts into making content, into doing all this stuff on Twitter and YouTube and all this fun stuff. And I enjoy getting to talk with you guys. It's a great opportunity. So once you reach that stage of finding your edge, it's likely better for you to kind of step away. My weekends now are spent going to the gym. I review my journals a little bit. I don't spend too much time doing this. And then on Sundays, I prepare for the upcoming week. And to do that, all I do is mark up my target of the day. I come to all my assets that I'm looking to trade, and I come to mark up my targets. And I just do this on the daily. So for NQ, I've got this target. Just flipping through the assets and having all my targets marked. So whether it's Sunday night, whether it's the next time I'm trading, Monday morning, whatever it may be, I have my targets already ready, I'm set, and I'm ready to go. Now, in my stage of having an edge, I'm more in the stage of refining it. And refining it means you're not spending a ton of time on the weekends because there's only so much you can do that's actually going to help you. I'm now in like the testing phase of profitability. I have what I think is a profitable edge. I have tested it, I've learned, I've studied. Now it's time for me to see, does this work in the live markets, and what psychological issues am I going to face? And that's where the importance of journaling comes in, because you need to be identifying some of your psychological issues as you run into them while you're trading in the market. So that's the stage I'm in right now, which is testing live. So altogether, briefly, if you don't have an edge, find an edge. This shouldn't be a long process. Backtest, do a bunch of work, figure it out quickly. It shouldn't take too long. And then once you have your edge, work on just executing it in the live markets. There's not much time that needs to be spent on the weekends anymore because you've already done the work. Now you're just seeing how well it performs for you, and you're evaluating yourself throughout the week. Am I doing well? Where am I lacking? All of these things, so that when the weekend hits, it's no longer this sense of I need to figure this out. Excuse me. It's the sense of, okay, I have what I think is a successful strategy. Here's what I faced this weekend or this week in trading. I'm going to prepare for the next week, and when the week hits, I know what I'm doing, I know where my issues lie, and I know what I'm looking to perform. As you progress, it should be this like really aggressive, I'm going to work super hard, grind, and figure this out on the weekends, and then it should slowly fade into, okay, maybe I don't need to work as hard on the weekends. Maybe that's actually counterproductive to me becoming a successful trader. Maybe I should spend my time during the week journaling and finding these errors, and then on the weekend, step away, not harm myself more than help myself, so that the next week hits and I can be ready and prepared and keep learning from there. Thank you for watching.